Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Just making sure my mic is working. Seems like it is. No complaints. Wow, is it dead today? It's only a weekend, I guess. I guess everyone's offline, I guess. Hello, Samir, how are you? Wow. Alright, I'm just gonna wait a little bit, let people come in, and I'm gonna get started. Let's move that there. Yeah, I'm relaxing too. Alright, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go ahead and build out our own slash command handler. So we're gonna be reusing a lot of code, not a lot, but just like some code that we've written for not Slack, but just the command handlers in general. We're gonna be doing that. So that's pretty much the goal of the stream, is just to create our own handler for slash commands. So I have another slash command tutorial coming out probably next week, where I'm just gonna show you how to create a simple role. As you can see right over here, I have the select menu, of course, and it gives you a role. It's just a simple idea, but the most important thing is to obviously get slash commands to work with a command handler. So that's what we're going to try to do. So what I'm going to do is I'll actually create a brand new project for this, and I'll put all the code on GitHub, and then, you know, if I have some time, I'll probably just create a bunch of random slash commands in the stream, and I'll take suggestions, and then later on I might experiment with some HTTP web server and try to create like some kind of a API handler for the slash commands. Is a slash command handler via the interaction WebSocket or raw JSON? Interaction WebSocket. So the raw JSON, yeah, you're talking about the webhook. Yeah, we're not going to be doing that. It's a lot easier to use the interaction WebSocket in my opinion. So let's just go ahead and call this slash command handler. I should really call it an applications command handler, though my only concern is how would you handle message components, like message interactions, like buttons and stuff, because all of those are underneath the interaction create. So there would need to be a way to kind of like we'll figure that out in this tutorial. I'm gonna call this Discord application command handler. I really don't like how this name is ridiculously huge, but you know, it gets the job done, so who cares, right? Koob, hi, how are you? Let's open up Visual Studio Code. Man, so many of my extensions are like just getting outdated. I don't know why. Maybe I gotta start making my own extensions from now on, because all these other extensions just being like, either I don't know what happened to some of these extensions. Like I use style components and one of them got I don't know, it got messed up. Macy, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you again. I'm doing good, thank you, Koob. Alright, I'm gonna set up the project. I'm gonna put all code on GitHub so you will be able to reference this later. And of course I can reference it later too, because I find it very helpful to never delete any code and just keep it, because you'll never know when you'll need it again. I hate how my mic is so sensitive. Like, it picks up every single freaking noise. Like, if my chair moves, I don't know why. I think maybe I need to set a filter on Streamlabs. On OBS it doesn't pick it up, but on Streamlabs it does. Alright. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set up, you know, the boring stuff, which is just going to be the project settings and everything, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna use TypeScript, of course. I think we'll also need Discord.js, but I'll install that later. TS Node. Yeah, I remember you, Ace. Nice to see you again. Of course I remember you, man. I've seen you're like in every single one of my streams, so of course I'm gonna remember you. Alright, so let's go ahead and install. What the hell is this? Oh, that's cool. Size 66p, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Here's a harder question. Do I remember you? I honestly do not remember your name, but if you give me more details, maybe I'll remember you. Yarn and let's see. I'll remember you if you like actively talk to me in chat, or like, you know, if I've seen you on my server often. Like, I definitely remember those people. Like, I can give you a lot of names that I remember from, like, you know, 2 years ago, from when I started streaming all up until now. Like, I don't forget people easily. So if you're an active lurker, active chatter, I'll definitely remember your name. Yarn add Discord.js. And we're also I don't think we'll need any other libraries aside from that. Let me actually, yeah, I don't think we'll need anything else. Dude, I missed your previous stream, but I finally, well, that's great. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, the previous stream was pretty short. It was only an hour. Do I have any plans for Next.js? Yes, I gotta actually relearn Next.js. Sojiro, welcome to the stream. I see you. Abdul, you really haven't described you a freelancer. Nice, man. I'm happy for you. That's great to hear. Yeah, I'm not offered. Of course, Macy X has been on my stream many times, so of course I'm gonna remember Macy X. Yeah, I only been a couple streams. No, okay, I'll remember you next time. Don't worry. Yeah, I haven't really been streaming. The last time I streamed before, like a week ago, the last time I streamed was like 4 months ago. So it's been a while. It's been a very long time. Okay, let me go get a bot real quick. Let me go ahead and create a new application. So I'm just gonna do this for the stream, just so people who are not really too familiar with slash commands will understand how this works. So we're gonna go on the Discord portal and we'll create a brand new application. I'm just gonna call this YouTube. I don't want to give a misleading name. What name should I call it? Starbucks slash commands. Yeah, I don't know. That's just the first thing on my head, so we're just gonna go with that. Do you use Discord.js REST for deploying the slash commands? Interesting. I didn't know there was a package called Discord.js REST. Let me take a look at that. What exactly is this package? Let's see. Discord.js at REST? Are you talking about this? Is this what you're talking about? Because I'm not sure. I've never heard of that before. I didn't even know there was a concept of deploying slash commands, because I thought all you did was you just create them and then they're pretty much set. I wasn't too sure. I've only started looking at slash commands seriously like 2-3 days ago. So I have not really had much time to really experiment with everything. You know what I mean? Let's see. Is there documentation? When you say deploy, do you really mean just register the commands? Like, do you mean like like client.applications.commands.create. Do you mean that, or like I'm not sure what you mean? Because if it's not that, then then you're probably talking about something completely different that I've not heard about yet. But I think maybe you're talking about this, or maybe you're not. I'm not sure. But okay, yeah, so we're on the same page. Yeah, so originally I actually created my commands in Postman, but obviously, you can also do that when you start the bot up. The nice thing about creating slash commands is even if you call the same endpoint again, because basically it's just a post request underneath the hood. If you call it again, it's not gonna really do anything. It won't like act. I think it'll also update. It'll update the slash command for you with like the latest details, which is nice. I was trying to implement slash, but this is dark magic. Let me add a bot real quick, and I'm gonna go and grab the bot token, and let me create a .env file. I'm gonna move my thing off screen so you all don't see it. There we go. Okay, so I have my bot token, and I'm gonna have to go ahead and authorize the bot. So we're gonna go to this URL generator section, and oh, it'll update. That's good. We'll go ahead and select application.commands, and we'll go ahead and select bot. You should create a series of creating blockchain-based Discord bots with Web3.js library. There's a lot of demand for that in the video on YouTube. Let me see. I have not looked into Web3 or blockchain much, to be honest with you. So if you give me more information about it, on why I should look into it, I'll definitely consider it. I've only, heard those buzzwords everywhere, but I've never really actually taken the time to really listen or figure out what exactly those things are. I know what the blockchain is, obviously, but not too sure what Web3, not too familiar with what Web3 is. I know it's like some decentralized, it's like a decentralized way of like web or something. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up to date with all of those trends lately. Because I have my own, personal stuff to keep up to date with. So if I were to worry about that, I would never get any of those things done. What's my monitor resolution? My monitor resolution is 2540? It's a 2K monitor, so I think it's 2560 by 1440p. The coolest thing in slash commands is you can disable commands for everyone. Yeah, that is true. It's a lot easier. Discord abstracts away all of those previous logic that we had to do before, and now we don't have to worry about it anymore. Truck. Let's see. It'll be cool if in the future you also show how to handle these interactions via the webhook JSON 2. Yeah, I could. It's pretty easy, actually. All you gotta do is just listen to a post request that acknowledges a ping, and then you have to just create endpoints for it. There's 2 steps that you have to do. One of them is acknowledging, and then the other one is something else. I'll have to look at the documentation again because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Where's my Discord server? Right over here. Okay. Move this here. Move this over here. Okay. I actually do have another cool idea though. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, now that we have our bot in the server, I need to manage my tabs a lot better, to be honest with you. Okay. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna write all my commits local, and then I will push it to GitHub at the end of the stream. So what we're gonna do is first, let me set up my scripts first, and I'll also have to install .env as well. Start dev. Do you still have the Codering server? Yes, I do. Though everything is like I have a new server though, and I want to actually worry about that right now because the Codering server, it's been around for too long and it's kind of dead. So I kind of want to just start all over again because I haven't really been paying much attention. I still look at the server and I still moderate it alongside with my other moderators that help. But I haven't really been, putting much effort into that server. So The new server is gonna basically be the new environment, the new community. So the link is in the description if you haven't joined yet. Feel free to check it out. Okay, let me also install NodeMon and .env. Alright, cool. So now that we have all of those dependencies, we're gonna go ahead and config, and we can go ahead and import the Discord.js client. Okay, Vladislav, nice to see you again. I remember your name. How are you? I see. Look, bro, I joined already and thought coding ring is deleted. That's why now. Nah, the coding server is still there. Coding server is still there. I don't think with interaction creates you really need intents, do you? I don't think there's a, yeah, no, that's integrations. Did you use NeoVim or Vim? I mean, I use Vim whenever I'm like working on like a Linux server, but aside from like whenever I'm SSH into a Linux server, I use Vim on the server, but not on like a regular basis. I've tried using Vim with VS Code because I actually like Vim a lot, but not so great with it. Though I just need practice, to be honest. What's going on? Oh, client user. Okay. Alright, let's start up the bot. I'm fine. In December, I took part in World Skills in Competence of Android Development. It was difficult and I failed. I decided for myself that I would develop in front end Android development. So you used, what was it? Android Studio and Java or Kotlin. Oh, we didn't log the bot. We didn't log the bot yet. What do you think, VS Code or NeoVim? So I never used NeoVim before, so I cannot really, you know, I can't really tell you. But I do like VS Code a lot. Oh, I see. So, are you like what's your like? If you don't mind me asking, what's like your experience? Like, are you like how many years have you been like programming? And when I say that, when I ask it, what I mean is like, how long have you spent learning, and how long have you spent like actively like, you know, trying to build like projects and stuff? Have you tried to make some sort of game with Unity? I've tried Unity, but I have not really like taken like the actual time to really like actually sit down and properly learn it. Because I feel like something like Unity, it's so freakishly huge that you need to properly sit down and actually, you know, like learn it properly, you know? Alright, so I think that's all we have to do for setting it up. And now we can actually start to register our commands. So I'm going to go ahead and create a, let's see, what should I call this? Types. No, I don't want to call it types. VS Code, all I think. VS Code has evolved so much over like the past 5-6 years actually. I remember, wow, you know, it's crazy because it's been 6 years since I started first learning programming. Like, as I started back in 2016, and I remember using VS Code. I remember before VS Code was super popular. Like, people were still using like Sublime Text, Atom, and now everyone uses VS Code. Well, almost everyone now. The config. So what this does is it calls, this is a function that is imported from the .env module, and this module is used for loading environment variables. So for example, if you want to store like all of your project secrets somewhere, you can store it inside an environment variable, and you can or ignore that from being committed, so that way you don't have to commit to GitHub. So it will load it into memory, and we can log our bot in with the token without actually pasting the token raw as a string inside our actual code base. But yeah, I remember I used to use Atom a lot back then. That was like the first editor I used, and I used to use SourceTree for elegance. I used to use SourceTree, but now I use and then after SourceTree I used the GitHub the GUI, but now I don't use it anymore. Though I might actually start using it again because it's a lot easier to like view diffs. Okay, so I want to create a class, or maybe an interface might be better. Interface. Let me see. Base command. And essentially, I think it might be better to do an abstract class because I also want to define fields as well. Because with interfaces, I don't think we can define private fields. I think not in TypeScript. No, we could. Let's see. I think I could do this. Let me try this. ID name. Or what am I doing? Name. So this is gonna be the command name. Does slash command support aliases by any chance? Do they? Like for example, I don't think they do, right? Like slash commands don't. It wouldn't really make much sense, right? I mean, I guess an alias really in slash commands would really just be two commands with different names that that do the same functionalities and map to the same thing. But I don't really see why you would want to do that, to be honest, because there's autocomplete with the slash commands, right? Like people could just hit tab. So it really doesn't make much sense, you know. Like for example, you could just do /z, hit tab, hit tab again. So it's a lot more interactive, you know. So I don't really see the point in doing using alias anymore. But when did slash commands come out? It's been a year since it came out, right? Because I remember when it first came out, I didn't really look much into it. Has it been a year, or has it just been like only a couple of months? I think maybe it's only been a couple months, right? Maybe I'm over exaggerating the time, but it's just been so long. Okay, so name, permissions. Let's see. I don't know if we'll have to worry about permissions. So there's name. Maybe we should worry about the group as well, like group. Like what group or category. And there's also sub commands too, so we'll have to worry about that later. I hated slash commands first, but I have to. Yeah, I never. It's not that I hated them. It's just I never really worked with them before. I've never really worked with them before, so you know, would really recommend you to work with classes. Deckers are really OP. Yeah, they really are. Let me see. So base command. And I think what I want to do is I want to create an abstract method that all of my commands are going to extend. So it's going to be something like run, and this method is going to just return, I guess, a void. Though actually, I should probably do any because we'll let the user return anything. Because you know I want to let the user handle their own logic. But what I want to do is this run command is always going to take in. Let's see. So unlike the old method of handling commands, we always took in the client class, the client instance. But with slash commands, let's see. I think the only thing we really need is the interaction. To be honest with you, the interaction type, and I think that's really it. We don't really need anything else. So let's see. Client on ready. Okay, so now let me just experiment with this. So like I said, I've never done this before, so we're going to be experimenting with a lot of stuff. So we're not going to get it on the first try, of course, but we're going to be experimenting with a lot of stuff. So alright, let's try to see what happens if I try to extend, or not extend, but implement this interface and see what happens. So what I'll do is I'll create zoom command.ts. Hello, I wrote you on Reddit. I'm a graphic designer. Please look at my message on Reddit and write me an answer. Since you're here already, why don't you just drop me a message on Discord? Send me your portfolio and I'll take a look at it. That's a lot easier, to be honest with you. My link is in the description if you aren't in my server already. But yeah, I agree with you. Alberto decorators are really, really nice. I use them a lot with Nest and super nice. Though I've never really had much time to look deeply into it on how to implement my own. But really, it's just a function that just returns it just returns something, right? And it just pretty much wraps that or something like that. I've only known the very basic level of decorators because I've seen them in Python before, and they are very common in Java. All right, so let's try implementing this interface and let's see what happens. Okay, so I don't know if I should call this a base command because I don't want people to really confuse this with Discord.js type, but you know what, we'll leave it alone for now. If there's a better name, we'll leave it like that. Okay, so now we need to implement the name. So Zoom. Now I wonder if I could set this to private. Category. Let's just call this misc. And then we need the run command, which is the most important. Whoops. Autocomplete. Alright, perfect. So this works. Bon appetit. Please, font size very little, increment for mobile people. Alright, this should be a lot better. Let me know if that's better. Okay, so let me also make sure this is an async function. I don't think you can set this to be an async, right? Yeah, no, you can't. Okay. Though, let's see. So now we can implement our logic. So let's just say console log zoom command. Cache type. Hold on. Alright. Okay. So now the next question is how do we actually register this command? So I'm trying to think what would be the best way. We could, let's see. So there's two things that I want to mention. One, we could fetch everything. Well, here's the thing, right? I'm trying to think. So first we need to listen to the interaction create event, right? And we'll need to listen to the interaction create event. Now, let me actually see something real quick on my GitHub. I want to see how I handled the event because it's been a while since I've seen this before. So I want to see how I handled the. Let me see. The registration. So I think what I did was I fetched, or not fetched. I read through all the files, and what I did was I did let's see, client dot on. There should be a client dot on where I registered the actual event somewhere here. Have you worked much on AWS? No, not really. I've only used EC2. And that was really it, which is really nothing special. I've worked a little bit with EC2. I've done some, basic firewall stuff with AWS. That was pretty much it. Okay, chill. I'll take a look at it later. Thank you. Okay, so register commands. So what we have to do, and this is pretty much the same thing that we'll have to do later, is we're gonna have to read through all the files, and then we're gonna have to do the same thing that we did with the command handler with Slappy, and then same thing with the register events. What we do here is we just register the event name, which is we're gonna have to register the interaction events. But what did I do here? Oh, okay, so I think what I did later is on the message create event, for the message create event. Oh, okay, so later on we have to actually register the... Wait, no, that's actually... Okay, no, so we can't do that then. So we actually have to listen to the interaction create event and then handle it from there, I guess. Yeah, so it seems like... oh, okay, wait, no, I'm thinking of this so differently, actually. We just have to register the event. Okay, yeah, no, this is fine. I'm kind of overthinking a little bit again. You'll start. Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of like, I kind of like was thinking differently. I was thinking wrongly about how we were going to do this. So first, let's actually register the commands. So what I'm going to do is this. Let's see. Let me actually take a look at a repository. Let me look at the let me look at one of my old repositories. It's the Discord dashboard bot, because this is a recent project, so it'll be a lot easier to kind of like base everything off of this. So we're gonna call register commands. So register commands is going to need to be called somewhere over here. So what I'll do is let me create a function. And this is where we're going to, this is going to be like a bootstrap function. And don't worry, we'll move these event handlers into its own folder later. Okay, for now I'm going to put everything in the same file just so I can see it easier. But then we'll move it into its own file, so don't worry. Dino, welcome to the stream. How are you, man? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so we're gonna call register slash commands. And really, I think it's really just gonna be the same thing, to be honest with you. All we're really gonna do is just literally do the same thing. Let me see. I hope this font isn't so bad. I do need to kind of like, let me see. Let me do this. Okay, so let me try and do this real quick. We need to go ahead and register these slash commands. So what we need to do is we need to create a property that keeps track of all the commands. So what I'm going to do, let me see. Oh, Pika program. Hey, how's it going? Lyrosphere or Pika program, however you go by. I use those names interchangeably, but I'll call you whatever you prefer. But yeah, it's 8 AM here. It's probably like, what, 10 PM for you, right? It's pretty late for you. Well, not pretty late, but you know, it's late. Do you have an easy way to make the backend work with MongoDB instead of MySQL? Well, there's no easy way, I'll tell you that. But what you can do is you can look at the Nest.js documentation, look for database, and then look for Mongo, and then kind of like, you know, configure everything from there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and this is the same thing that Slappy does, is I'm going to extend the client class from Discord.js. And the reason why I want to do this is because in JavaScript, what we would do is we would dynamically add properties to the client object. But in TypeScript, you actually can't even do that. Like if you try to do this, it's not going to work. And since we're using TypeScript, we might as well define fields. that we can set values on. Do you know how node path works, like URL files path URL? I mean, I've never used those methods before, so I can't really tell you off the top of my head. But if you look at the documentation, you should be able to find some pretty helpful information. So what we're going to do right now for this custom Discord client class is we're going to create a field called _commands, and we're going to use the getters and setters, the built-in ES6 getters and setters, to retrieve and set this value. The type of this is going to be a Discord collection, which is really just an enhanced version of a JavaScript map, and we're going to map all command names, which is really just a string, to a base command. That's really what it is. Okay? That's really all we're doing. And if you look at the latest Discord bot dashboard code, it's the same exact thing right over here. Okay? Now what I will do is I will just straight up just create a new instance of this, just so we can initialize it on runtime. And we'll also do the same thing with events, but we're not going to worry about events right now. We're only going to focus on commands first. And the nice thing is we don't have to worry about a guild prefix anymore because we have /commands now. Okay? Cool. So now we'll create a getter and setter. Okay, and then we'll create a getter. And it's going to be set commands and then get commands. And for get commands, we have to return this .commands right up top. And then for set commands, we're going to have to pass in, let's see. For setting the commands, do I really even need, oh yeah, we don't need to set commands. Because what we're going to do is we're going to get the commands and we're just going to call .set. That's what we're going to do. Also, when are you going to get to setting up the Discord server? Well, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my current moderators from my Discord server if they're interested in, joining and being moderators on there. And I'm also looking for some mods as well. And I'll pretty much go from there. Been really busy, so I didn't really have much time to really set up the server, but I will get to it at some point. Okay, so now what we can do is, instead of creating an instance of client, and let me actually do this, instead of doing that up there, actually I really want to do it inside here, but because we have these two events, I'll do that later, but I'm actually going to just move this in here actually. Though it's not ideal, but I'll get rid of it later, because I really don't want to put everything up there. Okay. So what's next is we need to go ahead and do this. I do want to find a different approach to setting this up, to be honest, but I'm not too advanced because I'll have to look at some other ways people maintain libraries. But I think there's probably some kind of other pattern or some better approach to doing this, to be honest with you. All right. So now I should be able. I don't really like this. I'm gonna move this outside over here. I don't like that. This is way too ugly. Okay. So client dot commands, or not client commands. We have to create a new instance. Instead of client, we'll call this Discord client. And this can really just be any name. You can just call this class whatever you want. Okay, but I'm just gonna call it Discord client. I think this is Atom material theme. To be honest with you, I'm thinking about changing my theme. I was talking about that the other day, but I'm not sure what theme I would change it to. I don't really like to think so much about themes, to be honest, because there's sometimes where I spend way too much time trying to figure out what theme I want to use, instead of coding, so it kind of distracts me a little bit, not gonna lie. I'm gonna switch it back to the default theme. Okay. So now client.commands and .set. So now I should be able to just, you know, set the commands, but obviously we need to go ahead and call this register commands function, which is this function that is abstracted away. I think honestly I should probably move this into a package. I don't know why I never thought of this before. I should probably move this into a package, so that way it could just take care of it. But though I'm actually quite curious about subcommands. Do we need to worry about subcommands, to be honest? Because I'm not sure how subcommands really work with slash commands. So I'm a little bit concerned to see if there would be much problems with subcommands. Like, because subcommands are their own commands, right? Like, they're their own independent commands. So I'm quite interested to see how subcommands work. Because if subcommands are, I guess we would have to handle it differently. Because a subcommand, yeah, I guess we would need to know what the parent command is. So we might need to actually change up some stuff, but the only way we'll have to figure that out is by actually, you know, configuring this. So that's why we are here, to figure this out together. But for now, we're gonna have to basically copy this code, and don't worry so much about what this code does, to be honest, because it's really just a function that is just going to read through. I'll explain. So what this function does, and this is what pretty much happens underneath the hood. And if you look at old videos of handling commands the old way, I mean, I'm pretty sure now most videos probably do this as well with slash commands too. But all this function does is it reads through. It's going to read through the commands file, and it's going to read through it recursively. So even if there are, you know, folders and subfolders and subfolders and subfolders, right? It's going to read through every single folder for every single file, and it's going to go ahead and register the commands. That's literally all it does. So I don't want you to worry so much about this file in particular, okay? I know it might be a little bit confusing because I'm just copying and pasting, but I would at least explain to you what this means, so that way you know, you guys are not, you know, just super confused. But yeah, again, honestly, this function really should be abstracted into its own package, because it's really just the same thing that uses node level APIs. That's really all it does. Nothing special. Are you streaming regularly? Just sub not to miss any for live. I'm in live with your NestJ series. Really, I missed some cases. So, well, I've been pretty active on YouTube lately. I actually have some plans to make some videos, some more videos later. I have a lot more videos coming up the next week, so stay tuned for that. In terms of streaming, I cannot really promise that. Though what I will promise is that whenever I do stream, it's going to be a more interactive and more, it's going to be like a learning stream. So I'm going to be learning stuff together. We're all going to be learning stuff together. And I'll also probably be building some projects too. But yeah, I mean, I'll try to stream a little bit more often. I don't want to promise it though. But you know, I want to see if I will be streaming often. So no promises, but you know, what I will say is that you might be able to catch me regularly. At least if not live, you will be able to at least see videos, more and more videos, or you can just join the Discord server and chat with us. Okay. And since we don't have to worry about aliases, we don't need to worry about calling this get aliases method. I'm not sure why TypeScript is not throwing a command, error. I think it's because this command instance is any. Maybe that's why. Is there a way to kind of cast this? No. All right, that's fine. And we want to pass in. Why did I do command? Oh, okay, I know why. Because when we actually run the interaction, we're gonna call command.run. Okay. All right. So hopefully there's no errors. Let's go ahead and call await register commands. Let me call this register / commands. So yeah, this function is just a recursive function. Okay, I'll run through it very quickly. So what happens is we are going to need to pass in two properties or two arguments when we call this function. We're going to need to pass in the client because we need to reference the commands collection, and we're going to need to pass in the directory of where the commands folder is. So that's just this folder right over here. So due to like pathing, we do actually need to go out one directory and go into commands. And the reason why is because where we are actually going to handle path is inside the utils folder, not inside index.ts. So that's why we have to go out one path. So what happens is we build the current file path, which is going to take the current directory name, which is going to be utils. You're going to see that in just a second. Okay, and then it's going to join it with dir. Okay, so that will build the entire path. So let me just log this as well. And then what's going to happen is it's going to go ahead and use the FS API, which in case you don't know what FS is, it's the Node File System API, which allows you to do stuff such as reading files, writing files, creating files, etc., etc. And we basically want to read we want to read the directory, okay? And then what we do is we do const file of files, we iterate through, and we pretty much just have to check to see if the current file is a directory, and if it is, we recursively call register / commands. The reason why is because we need to be able to handle folders as well, like subfolders. And if the file is not a directory, we'll check to see if the file ends with .ts, and if it does, that means it's a command file, and we'll register. We should also check to see if if it's an instance of base command. Why don't you use resolve? I'm not sure what you mean, in what context. I'm not sure what you mean by that, to be honest. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So let's go ahead and run this. Command is not a constructor. Interesting. So it's erroring out over here. I'm not sure why. Let me double check. It shouldn't say it shouldn't error out though, because we have this command right over here. Path.resolve. Well, what's the difference between resolve and join? What's the difference between those two? Wait, hold on, I gotta figure this out. Because it's erroring out over here. It's saying command. Let me log this real quick. Huh, that's interesting. Seems like it didn't like that dynamic import. Commands, zoom command. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so zoom command is there. Why is it giving undefined though is quite curious. So file is not a directory, so it should go inside here. Well, file, okay, so I think what happens is we have the file name, and let me actually check the path real quick. Yeah, let me check the path real quick and see what's going on. Might be a path issue, I think. Yeah, I think it's a path issue. It might be a path issue. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm confused. I'm a little bit confused on why the path. It's able to find the, huh, interesting. Is it not even going inside here? Okay, so the file path is going to be source commands. Yep, that's correct. So that's the correct file path. It's able to get the files, but for some reason it doesn't like the... For some reason it does not like the imports for some reason. That's quite interesting. I don't even think it needs to be in the folder too, because file is not a directory, so it should just be able to register it. If file ends with .ts, file. There we go. So it seems like it does not like this path.join. That's interesting because it works fine with my other bot. So why would this not be able to read this properly? That's very, very weird. Very weird. Very, very strange. Is it because it's an interface? I mean, I don't really understand. Because I used a, let's see. It shouldn't be because of its interface. Well, I do think because let's see. Because it's still not able to. Wait, what if I did this? Const value. Let me try this. Let me see what happens. Let me see what the value of value is. Because it should definitely not be undefined at all. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so I think because we cast this as base command, I think, yeah, I don't think it's a default actually. Yeah, it's definitely not a default. It definitely can't be a default. So should we just say that this is command as? So what if I did this as base command? And then const command equals new command. Wait. Alright, I wonder if this will error out. Command is not a constructor. Yeah, okay. What about this? Okay, yeah, that's a little bit annoying. I'm just gonna use an abstract class instead of an interface. And I kind of like abstract classes too. So export abstract class, base command. We'll set up a constructor. Yep, this is that's fine. We'll just do it like this. Oh wait. Oh really? We can't use async and abstract? That sucks. Okay, so let me also create a couple of other getters as well. Alright, see ya, Pika program. Let's see. We needed some getters and setters. New private name. Why are you not using the terminal VS Code? Because I want to use the one that I'm using right now. It's me, how are you? Welcome. Plus, I don't really like the VS Code terminal, if I'm being honest with you. It's kind of garbage, in my opinion. I mean, they're the same thing, really. But, I don't know, just having it open up like this, I don't really like it. Because I need, like, the full view of, like, the actual code. Because if I have it open here, I mean, I'm sure there's a way that you could probably open this in a new window, I think. But, I don't know, I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest. I'm more of a fan of, like, the Windows terminal, to be honest with you. Alright, so this should be a lot better now. So instead of implements, we'll do extends base command. And we're gonna just create a constructor, call the superclass, pass in the name and category. And hopefully this is not gonna give us any issues. Command is not a constructor. Okay, let me see. So this should now be a default. Why is it still complaining about that? That is so weird. We have a TS file. There's no way that this is undefined. Okay, that's quite interesting. It's literally the same code. It's literally the same exact code as the, and it works too because we had a Discord bot. Let me see, did I, let me see. Extends base command, we call the superclass. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with, I don't really see anything wrong here. We have the extends base command. We have everything here. Quite confused, to be honest. Let me see. And our base command seems fine. Oh, I know why. It's because it's not a default. Silly, 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 silly. Oh, maybe that's why it didn't work with the interface. You know what? Maybe that might be the reason why. Now let me go ahead and check my command. Okay, yeah, these are all default exports. Okay, yeah, maybe that's the reason why, because it wasn't a default export. Where is it complaining now? I'm going to change this back into an interface. Okay, now it's still saying undefined one. Let's see. Why would it say that? That's so freaking weird. Command import. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Alright, there we go. Okay, perfect. So yeah, it's because this wasn't a default export. It was a it was a named export. So yeah, it was a default export. So I think if it's a named export, we had to actually export it differently, I think. Let me see. How would you export it though? If it was a named export. Yeah, so we would have to export it as zoom command like this in order to actually create an instance of it. So that's why it was erroring out. Yep, yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it as a default. It's a lot better that way. Export default class zoom command. And let me go ahead and instead of doing an abstract, actually no, I'm gonna leave it as an abstract class. The reason why is because I actually prefer having the constructor. So that way we can just like call the superclass constructor, pass in the name and the category and any other field that we need, instead of just defining it like inside, like, you know, in the field section. So I actually like the abstract class a lot better. So we'll go with that. All right. So now what we got to do is just create a new instance of this command. And we can cast this into a base command. Wait, no, hold on, what's going on? As base command, what, hold on, what the hell is going on? Why is this erroring, or not erroring, but why is this being annoying? Seriously, come on, man. Oh, wow. Okay, that's kind of ridiculous. There we go. Alright, there we go. This should work now. Okay, so now what we can do, let's call client.commands.set, command.name, and then command. And there we go. So now we have that, and if we go into our index.ts file, we should be able to console log client.commands. And we should be able to see a collection. Walid Khalid, how are you? Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. Okay, so now you can see that inside the collection we have the command zoom, and it maps to this zoom command class. Okay, pretty cool. So, hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. NXCK69. I'm guessing your name is Nick. Hello, how are you? Can I use Slappy for production app? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, you can. Juan David, how are you? Welcome to the stream, Juan David. Nice to see you here. Alright, so now that we've registered the slash commands, okay, so now that we have the slash commands working, I'm just going to go ahead and real quick just copy and paste some code again, which is literally just the same thing that we did with register slash commands. Instead, I'm just going to do register events. So right now we're just going to register the events real quick, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing, but only difference is we're going to just remove that, and we're going to have to go ahead and modify our client. And we're gonna have to create another field. So this is the exact same thing that we did with Slappy. So if you're familiar with it, this is what happens underneath the hood. Hey, yup, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Alright, so the base event is just gonna be the client. It's going to take in the client, and it's going to take in args. So if we're listening to the interaction create event, the parameter should be an interaction. Harris, welcome to the stream, Harris. Hope you're doing well. Also, I'm 13 years old and I know Java and JavaScript, Node.js, and HTML and CSS. What can I do? Is that a statement, or are you asking like what you can do with those? I'm gonna assume that you forgot the question mark, but you can do a lot. You could build websites, you can build APIs, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. I guess the better question is, what do you think you want to do? Or do you just need some ideas on what to do? Sometimes people have the skills, but they just don't know what to build. So if that's what it is, then maybe you just need some ideas. You could build, let's see. I mean, is there anything specific that you're interested in? Like, is there any type of application that you like, or that you would like to? I would start narrowing it down by figuring out like what are some of your interests, and then we can go from there. Because I don't want to just suggest like, you know, random bland ideas that just make that you might not be interested in. So I want to, like, you know, I want to make sure that you actually are, you know, interested in your, you know, in the project, of course. I would say just think of what you're interested in and then go from there. Because it's really easy to suggest project ideas, but it's a lot different when it's just like, are you interested in that project? That's like, you know, the actual real question. I'm interested to build Discord bot with own dashboard, so I'm watching Anson. Hey, that's a good idea. Alright, so this should register all the events. So now we can actually move our events into their own folder now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder called events, and we're going to create interaction create event.ts. And we're going to create an interaction create event, and we're going to have to extend base event. I'm not sure why that is not popping up in my IntelliSense. That's kind of annoying. Ken the Duck, welcome back to our stream. Nice to see you again. How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing well. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the logs now. We should be able to see, let's see, can I find module? Zoom command. Alright, there we go. Where is the event? Oh yeah, we didn't call that yet. Silly me. Alright, there we go. So the event should be registered now. So we should be able to receive interactions. So let me show you. Ticket system. What about it? Let me go ahead and get rid of all of these logs. So we can start to clean up a little bit. Alright, so I think I don't have a slash command yet for this application. So we're gonna need to create one right now. I know it was a lot of setup, but we're finally done. We finally have registered all of our commands. Okay. So now what we need to do is let's first get rid of this client interaction create. And what I'm going to do is, and I'll do this inside the ready event. I'll just do it inside here for now. Client.application.commands.create. And let me go to my server real quick. So we're gonna create a guild level command. Let's see. Not really the best name, but what can I say? I'm not really a creative person. Just kidding. Alright. So we should be able to see this slash command right now. Bot should be logging up soon. There we go. Alright, so we have it, and we should see in the console, you can see that the interaction create event is being registered. Okay, now remember, this is going to be a little bit tricky because this is only right now. The way that we're going to handle this is we're going to check to see like what the interaction type is. So if interaction.type is equal to an application command, then we're going to go ahead and cast this into an command interaction, because in TypeScript, if I try to access interaction dot command name, you'll see that it won't work. Though we can actually just let me actually do this. Wait, hold on. Oh wait, sorry, my stream went down for a second. Sorry, my stream lagged a little bit. Okay, so what I was last saying is I just realized that there are two methods. Is command or is application command. Let me go ahead and check the Discord.js docs and see what's the difference between these two. Well, what's the difference between these two? I think we'll just worry about if this is a command. And if we run into issues, we'll know. So yeah, I don't even think I need to check. I can just do is command. And I think from here, we can just do interaction.command. Yep, perfect. All right, so if it's a command, let's get the name of that interaction command. Okay, and I'll log command name, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and check to see if the command is in the map. So pass in command name, and it's literally exactly the same way that we handled the old message commands, the old text-based commands, the old way. Okay, and I think I don't know if we'll need the client. Do we need the client? I wonder if we'll need the client. Okay, yeah, we don't need the client because interaction object already has the client, so we don't even need that. Mr. Dev, how are you? Welcome to the stream. All right, so let's go ahead and test this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and reply. Oh, I can't reply. Let's see. Comic, how are you, man? I haven't seen you for so long. Or maybe the last time I saw you was like, I think 4 months ago. So this is the zoom command. So we have to go ahead and do this. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. So if the command is found, we'll go ahead and execute the command. If the command is not found, I want to reply and say command not found. Command not. So right now we only have one slash command, and that's the coffee command, right? We also have a zoom command as well. So let me show you inside right over here. If I do slash coffee, you're gonna see that it says command not implemented, and the reason why is because, well, we have a command called coffee that's a slash command that's registered with Discord, but we don't have the actual logic implemented yet. And that's our responsibility, okay? Now, right now, notice how right now I'm specifying this as a guild level command. Obviously, you'd want to actually have this as an application command, like a global command. But right now, we're testing it at the guild level because with application global commands, it will take a very long time to actually update. So it's better to test with guild level and then move it into global commands after. Glad to be here. I'm glad to have you here. Okay, so we pretty much handled the first case with just basic, regular commands. Okay, so everything else should be pretty straightforward. So I'm trying to just think about how different is this with Slappy commands, because to be honest with you, not Slappy commands, what I'm talking about. With because like with the old command handler, because to be honest with you, most of these things are just the same exact thing, right? The only difference I mean, I guess what would need to happen is the user could create like a folder called slash commands, like commands or like slash commands, right? And then when you register the slash commands, when I say register, let me say register locally, right? Like register locally by creating the instance and then putting it into the collection. You would read it from a different directory so it doesn't conflict with old message commands. Because let's say, for example, the user might want slash commands and the original old text-based commands, then you would want to separate the file, or you can just check the type too. It doesn't really matter. You can check the type. So I'll have to update Slappy later for that, but not right now. So let me create the coffee command now. So let's do coffee misc coffee command coffee command. All right, so let's try this out right now. So let's do zoom. Oh, I didn't register the zoom command yet, but I did register coffee. Okay, so coffee command works, so we're able to reply to it. I do need to create a zoom command. So let's create zoom slash command. Starbucks slash commands, there we go. I have not seen the Sapphire framework. What is it? Let me see. What is this? Let's see. Is there like no documentation at all? Let me see. All right, there we go. Let's see. I'm interested in this plugin stuff. I've heard of this, but I have not looked into it yet. But I'm just gonna assume that it does probably similar stuff to the old frameworks like Arella. And I'm gonna be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. Alright, sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool. I'll be glad to take a look at this framework sometime. I don't know what happened to Arella. I think it just, I guess out of nowhere, like they just like archived the repository, and then they said that they were going to disband the project. I mean, there's also Acairo, I think. Is that what it's called? But I don't even know what happened to Acairo. But good to know that there are people building a new library, or not library, framework. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Anyways. All right. So now that we have the slash commands working, I do want to experiment a little bit. So we have a nice, slash command handler, which works great. So I can do coffee zoom and it's gonna and we have the reply interaction working great. Let me remove this now. All right, and I'm gonna just move this inside this ready event over here. And move this in here. Get rid of this. And I can now move this inside here. And everything looks so much more cleaner. Discord Akaro is still a thing, just doesn't support slash commands. ES 2022 supports top level weight. Oh, that's cool. Let me see. Huh, how do I set it up in TypeScript? TypeScript ES 2022. Let me see. Do I need the module? Oh, I think target is actually something different. Hold on. Yeah. There we go. Where is the outer property? I wonder if this will even compile. Probably not. When the module is 22, the target needs to be set to ES 2017. Okay. Target ES 2017. All right, there we go. So, yep, perfect. Cannot find module Discord JSON means the module option to node or to aliases. Let's see, module resolution. Let's try node. All right, let's see if that works. Hopefully the TS node compiler. Yeah, it seems like the TS node. I don't know if the TS compiler will support that. Unknown file extension. I think because I'm using, let me see. TS node ES 2022. It definitely should compile fine. Yeah, so it compiles fine. Yeah, it compiles fine. Though it's just the problem right now is yeah. Oh, well, I'll worry about it later. There's nothing important right now to me. I'll worry about this later. It's pretty cool though, but I will worry about it. I'm gonna worry about it later. I'll have to look into this. That is cool though. Yeah, I've been waiting for this feature for a very long time, because Node had this, or not Node, Deno had this, like when it first came out, which is really cool. So you don't have to worry about creating like a main function and doing it here. But yeah, thanks for letting me know about that. I really appreciate that a lot. Okay, so all right, let me go ahead and commit everything real quick to GitHub, or not GitHub, but let me just do this real quick just so I don't lose track. All right, so the next concern that I have is handling handling subcommands and handling anything that's not a command, right? Because right now we're only handling commands, but when it comes to interactions, there are different stuff. Like there's different things that we have to worry about. So you know what I want to do? I think here's what I'm going to do. If the interaction is a command, I'm going to create a, let me see, what is this called again? An application command interaction. Command interaction. Here's what I'm going to do. And I've done this before, but I want to see if I could do this right now. I want to create a custom event, and I'll call this a command interaction event, which is basically just going to be a custom event for us. Command interaction. You are fast, lol. What is Discord JS Builders? What is this? Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome. All right, so wait, so can you use, so this is just for building, right? Like you cannot use this to like get the, can you use this to get the actual can you use this to actually get the command, like the command group and stuff, or is it just for building like the body to send to Discord API? Let me see. All right. Okay. So command interaction, and so what we're gonna do here is this is just going to be command interaction cache type. All right. So the reason why I'm doing this is because what I'm gonna do is if it is a command, we're gonna move all this logic in here, and we're gonna go ahead and just omit command interaction. I don't think it's gonna let us do that though. Oh, it will. Okay, thank God. I thought it was gonna complain, but thankfully it lets us do that. Perfect. So what's gonna happen is when we receive the interaction, it's gonna go ahead and fire this event. We're gonna handle that, and then we're gonna go ahead and manually fire our own event, which is gonna be handled by this class over here. And this will also be registered too, because remember it's part of the events folder. So if I move this back here, yarn start dev. see, our bot should be up and running soon. Starting. Zialino, how are you? Welcome to the stream. What's your fave Discord bot? To be honest, I have not really used much. I have not really paid much attention to Discord bots for a very long time. Why is my app not working? But I would say, I don't know, Carbot seems like a nice one. I use Atalia a lot. That's the one that I have on my server. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Why is this not working? Register events, ready events. Should be working. Did I mess something up again? Let's find out. How old am I? I'm 24. Does our application just not want to work? Or am I doing something wrong? I am calling the main function, right? Carl is the best. Okay, so ready event is firing, but why is the ready event not being triggered? So you can see over here, is the bot just taking forever to log in or something, or let me see. Yeah, so our bot's not logging in for some reason. That's quite interesting. Our bot's just not logging at all. Maybe I did something wrong. Carl is the best. Yeah, Carl is a nice bot. Okay, what is going on? I didn't do anything different. Does it just not like this event or something, or what? I'm just so confused. Okay, but now it's not even... Wait, what the hell is going on? Mi 6 is also good, but it has so many premium features. Yeah, they used to have all those features for free, but now I don't know what happened. They used to all be free. Okay, so... Oh, wait. You know what the problem is? I think what I need to do is I need to move this up here. I think I need to register them first and then log the bot in. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's the problem. Yep, perfect. Yeah, that was my bad. Alright, let's kind of like just... They need a source of income to keep it up, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think Mi 6 has gone. Has Mi 6 gone like less popular over the time? The tag command has 1,200 lines. Wow. All right, let's try this out now. Let me go back into registry. Discard that. Alright, so what we're gonna do is basically I want to show you. So let's... Oh wait, we have to pass in the interaction. Forgot about that. Alright, so we're gonna emit the command interaction event, which is going to be this handle over here. Okay, so let's go into here, and if I do /zoom, whoops, /zoom, it's gonna work. And that's because now we're encapsulating all the logic inside this command interaction event. And so we're going to do the same thing with the other interactions as well. So if interaction is let's see, is message component. Though this is the weird part, because what if it's a select menu, right? What if it was a select menu? What would you do then? Because how would you? Because like you can have different select menus, right? So how would you know how to properly handle it? That's the real question, because you can have multiple select menus. Like you can create, let's say, 5 commands that have 5 different select menus. How would you properly configure it? That's the real question that we have to figure out. So let's see. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. Let me do this. Can you build select menu? I'm sure you could probably build select menus with this. So what, you just take this and just pass it in to interaction reply? The hell is this? Wait, what? Wait, what happened to my dependencies? I swear I had .env in here, man. I don't know what the hell happened there. That is some weird stuff going on. That is some weird shit going on. What the hell happened to my package.json file? Do you have a girlfriend? No. Hey, just joined. What are you up to? We're working with slash commands and we're trying to create a proper way to handle the slash commands from scratch. So yeah, that's what we've been doing for the past, let's say, what, 2 hours now, I think? It's been about 2 hours. I'm gonna stream for about maybe another hour and then I'm gonna hop off. Because I gotta go, you know, do some other stuff. But, okay. So... I just installed this package to build interactions. So let me go ahead and create a coffee command, or I have the coffee command, but I want this coffee command to return I wanted to return a select menu. So can I set the menu? Are you able to set menus, or is this just for like does this support messaging components or not? Interesting. Alright, well, I'm not going to worry about that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to return a select menu. Wait, my bad. We need an action rule first. Okay, so I think we need to check the ID. Okay, so this is just for building the commands and then registering it, right? Like, it's not for like message components or creating like select menus. Custom ID. Wait, why did I... Wait, hold on. What the hell is this? Here we go. Alright. Let's see. With emojis, are you able to use Unicode emojis? Can you use Unicode? Let's find out. Where's my Discord? I think this might throw an error. Yeah, it would make sense for it to also support Unicode as well. It wouldn't make sense if it didn't, you know. Like, why would it? Why would it not? Okay, so I can't just pass in it as a string. Do I have to do this? Is it the name or the ID? Because the docs don't say. I wish the docs actually said that, to be honest with you. See, it's complaining it needs an ID and a name. What the hell is this? What type is it missing? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, that's freaking weird as hell. Alright, let me test this out right now. I think there's an error. Oh wait, no. I am fairly to JS and I've only started the process of rewriting my route from Python. I've been following your videos, so a lot of things on this method. Hopefully, thanks for all the content and explaining things well. Yeah, no problem, man. I really appreciate that. That's really nice to hear. There we go. So we can actually just put it straight up in there. Awesome. Alright, cool. So we can put more options. I'm gonna put one more. Let's do cold brew. Thanks for all the content and explaining things well. Yeah, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Description: cold brew coffee. Are there any coffee emojis? Okay, so what's interesting, or or what I'm interested in is figuring out how we're gonna handle this interaction. And like, how would you manage that though? That's the complicated part. Because slash commands is easy, right? With interactions, how would you manage that? I guess we can figure a way out that makes sense. Let's see. So if I select cold brew, so you can see right over here, if I look in the logs, we have this command or the select menu interaction. So let's look at the values or the properties. So we have a type, we have an application ID. So we can easily figure out if this is a select menu interaction because there's a built-in method that we can use to check, right? So I guess the only way that we can do this is checking the custom ID. Yeah, so we could just check the custom ID. So I guess we can create like a mapping similar to, you know, how we do with commands and events. We can create like a custom map, and we can create a function to register all of the menus and stuff. So we'd have to do it for everything, like menus, buttons. So what's interesting now is everything just repetitive, or is there a way we can kind of like, you know, sort certain things out? Because I'm sure what we could do is we could probably just check to see if it's a select menu and then check the ID. So we can just map the ID to the function that it should call. So the same exact thing that we would do with commands, right? We would just map the ID to yeah, so for example, let's see. So we're going to reply with this, and what's going to happen is when we reply, it's going to go and fire this event, and we have this interaction now. So if I do else if, is there a better way to do this? I really don't want to use a long if else if. I mean, I could use a switch, but that doesn't really necessarily help. No, we cannot use a switch with this because it's a binary value. Is command, because there's multiple different possibilities. Is select menu. Right. Interaction dot. Hold on. Component type, select menu, see. So these are the only methods that we can use to check what the type is. This property is, yeah, okay, that's fine. So if it's a select menu, then we'll go ahead and emit another event that will handle select menus. Select menu interaction. And we'll pass in the interaction. And we know that this is going to be a select menu interaction. So we can create another event, and then we can handle it similar to how we do here. So I guess we'll have to create another property called menus, I guess, or components. I don't really want to do, like, do we have to create one for each? Or is there a better way we can handle this? Because I can only imagine that this might not be, this would be a nightmare if you had so many different types of message components, right? But because we only have a certain limited amount, like for example, we only have, there's only really a few, like for example, there's only commands, there's application commands, there's is autocomplete, there's is button, is command. I'm not sure what the main difference between these two is, but 1, 2, 3, context menu, which is I think the user when you right click, Yeah, when you're no, this is something different. Yeah, this is something different. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you can imagine that it becomes a nightmare to handle this. So there's definitely, I'm sure there's probably a better way to do this. I think, what if we did this? I mean, I don't know, like, because like here's the thing, like you could combine everything, because I'm sure everything is going to be mapped by an ID somehow, right? Like if I were to look at the docs, I could probably assume even buttons have a custom ID, right? But what's kind of lame is that if a button has a custom ID, oh wait, okay, yeah, never mind. So yeah, if the button has a custom ID, then we can handle it. If it has a URL, then it cannot have a custom ID, so we don't have to worry about handling that. That's fine. But so let's see. Buttons have a custom ID. Action rows also have a custom ID. But I don't really think you can actually interact with an action row, because the action row is just a container that contains buttons or select menus, so you wouldn't really have to worry about that. So really, it's just select menus. Buttons are the two main ones that are part of message components, but then there's also user interactions as well, and you have to worry about that. So I'm wondering, if everything has a custom ID, should we make it so that every single component should have its own should have a different ID? Like, should the ID of each single component be unique, or should we categorize it into message components and then user components? So for example, user and message components can have the same ID, but they do different things. But because they're in different categories, it doesn't matter, right? Because we're gonna store them in its own collection, and we're gonna get the function to actually call. But then again, the problem here is that you'll end up creating a lot of different collections. You're going to create a lot of different folders to just handle these things, right? So it becomes a nightmare. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Let's see. I'm going to try this out. Interactions, let's see. So these are going to be message components. These are going to be user components. Whoops. And we're going to need one for select menu and button. Well, actually, wait, hold on. So we can put all of the functions in here, and then map the ID to those functions to be called. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I think this is a good approach. Interactions. I'm tempted to move commands into interactions. So let's see. So for example, we would have to basically do the same thing that we did and just map those interactions here. So for message user, let me do select menu interaction. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna make it simple for now. Let me see. Let me do this. No, I have not heard of that. Material icon and material Atom. Yeah, I get that. I get asked that like every single day, so no worries. All right, so for select the menu, let's see. So we're gonna need the ID. So I guess what we'll do is we can. So this is what it's gonna look like. We can map the ID to the actual interaction. So for example, let's say for example this is going to be the ID of this coffee interaction is going to be zoom command. Actually, no, it's be coffee select menu. So what we will do is we'll create a property here, and it'll just map to a function that will just be invoked. So it's similar to just handling slash commands really, but instead we're just checking the ID and we're calling a function. That's really what it is, honestly. It's nothing crazy. And the value of this is going to end up being the parameter for this callback function, or this callback function, this function over here is going to be a select menu interaction. And then we could just, whoops, what the hell is this? So annoying. Alright, there we go. Cache type. There we go. And then we can implement the logic here and then do whatever we need. Obviously, right now I'm just doing this for experiment. But then once we actually see how this works, we can then move this into its own class. Okay, and then for button, we will handle this as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this is going to work. So we're going to go ahead and emit select menu interaction. So we're going to create another event called select menu interaction event. Will this video be available when I'm done? Yeah, most of my live streams are always going to be available afterwards. So you'll be able to see it later on. How many years are you programming? So I started learning back in 2016, and I didn't start developing apps and developing projects until it was like 2018. 2017 it was like a learning phase, so I don't really count that. That's part of the learning phase. But in terms of actually developing stuff, experimenting with things, I would say since like 2018, like middle of 2018, during the summer. So I'd say actively programming 3 to 4 years now. Learning phase, still learning, like 6 years of learning. I mean, you're always going to be learning when it comes to programming. There's no such thing as stopping when it comes to learning. Like you're always going to be learning no matter what. Let me group all of these events into the interaction folder, just so it's a lot more easier to view. And all the code will be on a GitHub repository. I'm going to put it at the end of this video, so you'll all be able to reference it later if you want it. So you're able to use it, follow along with it, even extend if you want to. Okay? Let's see. So let's go ahead and create the select menu interaction event. All right. And what's going to be different in here is, wait, hold on. Get rid of this. All right, so we're going to emit this event, and that's going to be handled right over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to need to get the custom ID of the interaction right over here. And then we're going to look up the custom ID's function that it maps to, and then we're going to call it. Yo, what's up, Kyle Games? How are you, man? I hope you're doing well. So, for example, we're going to get the custom ID, right? And so, like I said, all of this stuff could literally be saved in a map, like a collection, so you can like implement it dynamically, because your logic is going to be a lot more complicated. But I'm just going to do this just for testing purposes right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do const select menu equals interactions dot, oh, there we go. And then we'll go ahead and do const let's see, menu handler equals select menu, and I want to use the custom ID as an index, but it's not going to let me because it's going to be annoying. Call me Kyle. Alright, sounds good. And so this is going to give you the value, and you can just call this with the interaction. Like that. Alright, and you're going to see that in the console, we're going to go ahead and select an item from the menu, and it's going to go ahead and log coffee select menu, and it's going to log the interaction. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to our Discord. Let's go to /coffee. Let's select cold brew, and you're going to see that it's going to log coffee select menu interaction. So it logs both of these things right over here. Okay, so we create a so this is how we can handle different interactions. So now if the user, so this is the responsibility of the user now, right? They're going to have to pretty much set up their menu IDs to map correctly. So, yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not really too much of a fan of doing that because it just becomes super duper ridiculous. And, but, I'm sure there's probably a better way. If you guys can think of a better way of handling all of this stuff, definitely let me know. I'm always eager to learn new patterns and new, ways to, doing stuff. So, feel free to, let me know. But, I'm going to leave the code over here because I want to save the rest for tutorials because I just wanted to make the stream. Oh, wait. I really wanted to do group commands, actually. Crap. I really wanted to do group commands. Let me see. Maybe I'll have to stream tomorrow then. Let me just take a look at group commands real quick. So the way it works is permissions, and then the user is the subcommand. Or no, it's a subcommand group. And then role is a group as well. So you can do permissions. And then how does it work? Oh, so you can see it over here. So permissions, user, get. Okay. So permissions, get, permissions, edit. Okay. And so... okay, so now we're going to have to figure out how we can interact with this. So... Let me actually do this, and then I'm going to hop off. Let me go ahead, and I want to register. I want to register a subcommand. Real quick. So, let's see. what should I call this command? Let's see. Maybe a schedule command. Schedule or a call or text message options. And then we're going to need subcommand groups. So user and role. Okay. So this is going to be one group. So we'll call schedule a call. What's the other structure? So you can do command, subcommand, subcommand. Okay. Let me try this first. The subcommand type is type 1. So I think instead what I'll do is I'll do schedule description. So schedule a call at a specific date and time. The type is going to be a subcommand, not a group. You can do groups though. I'll be watching your Slappy update to V13 after this. I'm being new to JS. It should help me figure it out. I'm glad I joined today. I hope it's okay if I ask some questions on your Discord. Yeah, it's totally absolutely fine. There's a lot of people that are willing to help, so just drop your question there, and someone will get back to you about that. Or me, I'm not the only person on that server, but I try to answer questions whenever I can, whenever I take a look. But yeah, there's lots of people who will definitely be able to help you out. All right, so cool. So let's test this out. So we're going to create this command, and right now, let's go ahead and see. We should get the command. There we go. Schedule call. If I type something else, it's not going to work. Yep. So schedule SMS. And you can see there we go, command not implemented perfect. And the reason why is because we haven't implemented it yet. Now here's the problem. How do we actually handle subcommands now? Right? Because because subcommands are going to require it's going to depend on the actual subcommand. Right? Though I wonder, can you have command? So you can have a command. So for example, you can have /schedule. And then you can also have a subcommand as well. So the question is, how do we? So what if I did /schedule? Can I just do /schedule? No. Can you just have /schedule alone? Or no? Like if it's a subcommand, does the subcommand always have to be provided? That's what I'm curious about. Make the not implemented ready reply F for ephemeral. Yeah, so it only shows to the user that's using the command. I think that should be for most commands. You'll use ephemeral because you don't want everyone seeing the reply. Only for the user itself. But I'm curious. So can you have a subcommand like right now, right? You see how they have command, subcommand. I'm curious to see if we can actually just execute the command itself. Using subcommand. Oh, there we go. Right over here, it answered the question in front of us. Using subcommands or subcommand groups will make your base command unusable. You can't send the base permissions command as a valid command if you also have /permissions add or remove as subcommands. Okay, that answers our question. So the reason why it's important that we know that is because now we know that every single time the user tries to use the schedule command, there needs to be a second argument, which is the subcommand. So that's good. So let's figure out how we can handle that. So the first thing that we're gonna have to do is we have to see what the actual interaction is gonna look like. Though I'm wondering if there is seems like there's no function that checks to see if it's a subcommand. Though is command should be good enough. But you can see in the logs that it said command name schedule, and that was let's see, where was that? Right over here. Right over here. Okay. So let me actually go ahead and check to see if let me just log what the interaction is so I can see what it looks like. No, you can't. Like if you have that, you cannot use the base command at all. You can't. Yeah, it just said in the doc. Yeah, you won't be able to use it. So if you have a subcommand, you must use the subcommand. You cannot use the base command alone. All right, so let's see. Command interaction. We have the type, ID, application ID, user, member, command name. So we have the command name here, but now we have the subcommand. Okay, so now this becomes a little bit tricky because how do we want to handle this, right? Well, what we could do is we could probably do something where the base command we can check to see. We can set the base command, like we can set a property, something like private subcommand boolean, or we can create like a method, right? Subcommand, and we can go ahead and create a method is subcommand. And so if it is a subcommand, then we'll know that we'll need to execute the subcommand and not the actual base command. But we'll still need the base command itself though. Like we'll still need to know what the base command is, but it's just that we'll need to execute something else. But I mean, what you could also do is if you know it's a subcommand, you could just write an if-else case, right? But if your logic becomes ridiculously complicated, you may want to split that into its own, function. But then again, to be honest with you, I'm not really a fan of that pattern because it just ends up becoming a very, very, very like deeply, like in a way, it becomes a very like deeply chain of events. But but everything is handled for you, right? But let me see. Can you actually do multiple? Let me actually see one more thing, and I'm gonna hop off. So invalid. You cannot have a nested subcommand group. You cannot have a subcommand group inside subcommand. So it seems like you can have a subcommand inside a subcommand group. You can have a subcommand inside a subcommand group. Okay, so yeah, you cannot have nested subcommands inside a... Yeah, so it seems like you cannot group together subcommand groups inside a subcommand group. Yeah, okay. Alright, that's good. That answers all my questions. So cool. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for the stream. We've been streaming for about 2 hours, so I definitely want to go hop off because I have some other stuff I want to work on. But I really appreciate you all for stopping by the stream. Really appreciate you all for talking with me and interacting in the chat with me. Definitely always happy to answer questions and help out as much as I can. Feel free to join the Discord server if you want to. The link is in the description. And yeah, I'll see you all in my next live stream or my next video.